Hey everybody, just wrapped up here, Lake Hartwell, getting ready to head on over to Winyah Bay. But before we do, want to take y'all through how I caught them this week, how I finished up. I finished this tournament 16th place, really good finish, really good AOY points. I was in 6th after day 2, had a good bag on day 2. I had 14 and a half the first day or thereabouts, 16, 14 the second day I think it was, and then on the third day I fell off. I only had a little over 12 pounds. So you know, I just never got a big bite on the third day. These fish, just to give you a little history of how the tournament went down, in practice I saw a lot of males moving up to the bank. You know, the water temperature was right around 59, 60, 61, but we had warming weather coming. And you know, you look around, you hear the birds chirping, you see the trees are turning green, you know the fish are wanting to spawn. I mean, that's just how it is. It's the first week of April, the fish are wanting to spawn in the south, and I knew they were coming. And I saw a lot of males in practice, so I knew the females would be right behind them, and I knew spawning fish were definitely going to play a role. And I found 2 or 3 key areas, key parts of the lake where I was seeing more fish. I couldn't really see a whole lot of fish when I got on the main body of the lake. I had to be like up the Seneca River or up 6 and 20 Creek a little ways. But I found 3 areas where almost every pocket had them, and I caught them all on a wacky worm, and that's how I ended up finishing, you know, ended up having a good tournament. Let's talk about my wacky rig setup. You guys have seen it before, but some of you may be new, so we'll go through it, really break it down. First of all, the rod is very key. I use the MHX NEPS 81 MXF. That's a 6'9" medium power. I just love the size of that rod. It's lightweight. I pair it up with a good spinning reel, 10-pound Vicious High Vis yellow braid with 10-pound Vicious Pro Elite fluorocarbon leader. I use a size 2 Mustad Titan X Wacky Nico hook, and I use the Exxon Lures, the Muscleback Fat Finesse Worm. I put a nail weight in the head of it, I put a little bit of chartreuse dye on the tail, and I put an O-ring on it. And that's it right there. Let me straighten it up for you a little bit. But that's it. I mean, it's not anything fancy, but I'm telling you guys, when they're spawning, when they're thinking about spawning, when they're up cruising, it'll get you bites. I mean, there is no better way. You watch Bassmaster Live today, I promise you, you're gonna see those guys throwing a wacky worm. That's probably what this tournament's gonna be won on, or it's gonna play a huge role anyway. And I did catch a couple on a little white crawl, just pitching it at sight fishing. When I'd come across one, I caught one of my big ones that way. Looking a little closer at my rod setup, I've got this one built with the MHX wind grips. I got the Arrow reel seat on there. That's what I always use. I've got the wind grip reel sleeve on there. Just gives me peace of mind of knowing, you know, I've got that wind grip feel right here. It was raining on day number 2. You saw me, I catch a 5'10". You probably saw it on my social media pages. And you know, when I set the hook, my thumb in my hand is not going anywhere. So that's a big part of it. I build this rod with, I think this is about an 8-inch handle. I don't like a real long handle, but it's just the perfect setup for skipping docks, skipping under overhanging limbs. I can be as accurate as I need to be with this rod. It's a really good setup.
Yeah, baby. Yes.
You know, another little tip for you, I'd take my bag of worms, my Exxon Fat Finesse worms, and I'd rig them up the night before. That way I didn't waste time putting an O-ring on them and putting a nail weight on them during the tournament, because that does take a little bit of time. So you know, if you're gonna fish a sight fishing tournament, you might try that. You know, I'll rig me up 10 or 12. Just saves time on the water, but a good finish. Looking forward to getting to Winyah Bay. Thank y'all for the support as always. I'll see y'all next week.